Hello, Raquel. Good afternoon, ma'am. This is Jesse Russell. I'm a project manager with Columbine Roofing. As you can see, we are at 835 Tanager Circle, Longmont, Colorado. Your home address. I'm going to do a quick roof inspection video for you here. Bear with me while I make my way up the ladder. So, the very first thing I'd like to detail through the use of this video is the sand-like buildup throughout the span of the gutter. As you can see, it's very consistent. There's actually quite a bit of it here. This is known as granule loss. It's really just the first indicator that's going to give testament to the fact that you've had wear and tear on the roof, and then ultimately to the age of the to the age of this roof itself. Next thing I'd like to point out here at the eave is the flange of metal you'll notice coming down below the shingle here over the face of the gutter. This is known as drip edge flashing. By building code in this jurisdiction, it is a 2 by 2 inch L-shaped flange of metal that goes 2 inches down over the face of the gutter, 2 inches up below the shingle. What this does, Raquel, is simply encapsulate the edge of the home and protect you against wind-driven rain, ice damming, and water migration at the eaves and the rakes. The reason I bring it up, obviously it is present here at the eave where the gutters exist, but you do not have it on any of your other rakes or eaves around the home, only where the gutters hang. And so when these homes were built, that was building code. As it stands now, it is currently building code to have the drip edge flashing on all rakes and eaves. So that is something to just be aware of. Now, there is quite a bit of damage up here to detail to you. The first thing I'd like to show you, or the next thing before I hop up onto the main slope, you've got a portion of missing shingle here from the wind. The reason this is a problem is it leaves these nail heads exposed. In order to pass any Colorado roof inspection, Raquel, each nail head must be sealed by some sort of silicone weatherized sealant. Without that, with the expansion and contraction of the roof season to season, these nails will actually emerge from the surface of the shingles and leave you a very vulnerable penetration point. I can actually give you an example of that up top here. So bear with me. Go ahead and make my way up to the upper plane. So, the very first thing any insurance adjuster would look for when he gets up here to do an inspection is known as spalding. Spalding is where hail strikes the shingles and removes the granule to expose the fiberglass undermatting. These bald spots you see are exactly what that looks like. So the way that the insurance actually classifies this damage is within a 10 by 10 square foot area, anywhere on the roof, if they can locate between 6 and 10 of these marks, you gain an eligibility for a full replacement at their expense. Now, granted, it comes down to the say of the adjuster. So in my professional opinion, I would say that you guys do have the amount of damage here necessary to file a claim. I think you've got a pretty good shot at an approval, and overall, just really knowing what your options are at this time is going to be beneficial. The roof is definitely in need of a replacement. Outside of the hail damage, you have pretty extensive wind damage as well, and this is something you had mentioned to me briefly at the door. This whole section of ridge is completely removed, and this has left just a ton of exposed nail heads, and so definitely needs to be addressed. This is definitely something that should not be put on the back burner. You've got multiple sections of missing shingle. You've got lifted rake edges, so some more missing shingles here, and then the rake edges, the corners of the shingles pulling up a little bit along the way, textbook wind damage. And then you've just got, as I said, a number of exposed nail heads, some more hail damage on each of the other slopes. I've done corresponding spot checks and my results were definitely similar. And then another thing that should definitely be taken into consideration are your boot jacks. They're in pretty bad shape. This one is the worst one up here. It's cracked, it's broken, it's actually got a chase directly into the attic, meaning every time it rains or snows, you do have water making it inside. And so that's definitely something to be aware of. To give you an example of these nail pops is what they're called. This is what will happen to the nails over time. They will actually emerge, and then you've got some bruises and some scarring. Definitely points where you're vulnerable for water to migrate. And then last but not least, if you'll notice this portion of your fascia actually rotting away, bowing out, it's fully exposed. This is what happens due to lack of drip edge flashing, and so that is something to be aware of there. Overall, once again, I think you guys have a good shot at a replacement here. I definitely appreciate the opportunity to get you up to speed here. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you.